Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed.
Welcome back to HistCast. Have you ever heard of a war that lasted over 100 years? Snapped continents, created legends like Hannibal, and ended with an empire burning to the ground. Today we dive into the Punic Wars, a fierce rivalry between Rome and Carthage that shaped the ancient world. And I'm not alone. Joining me is our resident expert, ChatGPT, to break it all down. Let's get into it.
The Punic Wars, the flame that burned. Two worlds. Not all enemies are born from hate. Some are born from rivalry, from ambition, and from two great cities staring at the same sea, both wanting the world. Only one could have it. This is the story of Rome and Carthage, of warriors and elephants, of generals and betrayal. A century-long war that turned Mediterranean tides red. This is the Punic Wars. 3 wars, 1 fate. Chapter 1. The First Punic War, 264 to 241 BC. The sea turns hostile. At the start, Carthage ruled the sea. They were a mighty trading empire born from Phoenician blood, with their feet in North Africa and their sails across every harbor. Rome, a rising land power, had no navy, just ambition. The island of Sicily became the matchstick. A small conflict between mercenaries ignited a full-scale war. Rome, never known for ships, built a fleet from scratch. They copied a Carthaginian wreck and launched hundreds. But they added something new, the Corvus, a boarding bridge. Now, naval battles became land battles, Rome's specialty. The sea, once Carthage's domain, became a graveyard for their ships. The war lasted 23 years. Carthage, bled dry and beaten at sea, finally surrendered Sicily, the jewel they couldn't protect. But the peace was bitter, and bitterness ferments war. Chapter 2. The Second Punic War, 218 to 201 BC. The general from Hell Rome thought the worst was over, but Carthage had birthed a storm. His name was Hannibal Barca. He was raised to hate Rome. His father made him swear it as a child, and he didn't just come for Rome. He brought war elephants, an army of mercenaries, and a plan no one dared imagine. Hannibal crossed the Alps in winter, a feat so insane it became legend. He lost half his men, but what remained was enough to carve a path of terror through Italy. In 216 BC, at the Battle of Cannae, Hannibal encircled and destroyed a Roman army of 80,000. One of the worst defeats in Roman history, but Rome did not fall. They adapted, they endured. A general named Scipio Africanus rose. He sailed to Africa and forced Carthage to recall Hannibal. The two legends met at Zama in 202 BC. Scipio won. Hannibal fled. Carthage surrendered again. But Rome had tasted vengeance, and vengeance too ferments war. Chapter 3. The Third Punic War, 149 to 146 BC. The ashes of Carthage was broken, but still breathing. That was enough to terrify the Roman Senate. One voice rang loudest, Cato the Elder, who ended every speech with, Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed. So Rome returned one last time. This time not for land, not for tribute, but for annihilation. Carthage resisted for 3 years, house to house, street by street. In 146 BC, Rome broke through. The city burned for 17 days. Over 150,000 people were slaughtered. The survivors were sold into slavery. Then Rome razed the city, salted the earth so that nothing would grow. The enemy was gone, and Rome stood alone. The empire begins. The Punic Wars made Rome a superpower. They didn't just defeat Carthage, they replaced it. The Mediterranean became Mare Nostrum, our sea. But something had changed. Rome had won the war, but lost something else. In conquering others, it began to conquer itself. Greed, pride, and fear, the same forces that crushed Carthage, would one day pull Rome down too. Because every empire, no matter how great, eventually creates its own Hannibal.
Let's start simple. Who were the Carthaginians and why did Rome see them as such a threat?
Carthage was a wealthy seafaring empire in North Africa, modern-day Tunisia. Founded by Phoenician settlers, it dominated the Western Mediterranean through trade, a powerful navy, and strategic colonies. Rome, on the other hand, was rising fast from a regional power in Italy to a major force. The rivalry was inevitable. Carthage controlled Sicily, and Rome wanted influence there too. This led to the First Punic War, 264 to 241 BCE, fought mostly at sea, even though Rome had little naval experience. But Rome adapted, built fleets fast, and won after 2 decades. Carthage lost Sicily and prestige.
Most people know Hannibal. What made the Second Punic War so legendary?
Hannibal Barca, one of the greatest military minds in history. He launched a surprise attack by leading over 50,000 soldiers, 9,000 cavalry, and 37 war elephants from Spain across the Alps into Italy. No one thought it was possible, but he did it. He crushed Roman legions at Cannae in 216 BCE, killing over 50,000 Romans in a single day. Rome was terrified, but here's the twist. He never took Rome itself. He lacked reinforcements, and the city was too fortified. Over time, Roman strategy shifted under Scipio Africanus, who took the war to North Africa. At the Battle of Zama, 202 BCE, Hannibal was finally defeated.
And then came the Third Punic War. Was it necessary or pure vengeance?
Honestly, a bit of both. By 149 BCE, Carthage had rebuilt itself economically, but not militarily. Rome still saw it as a threat, or maybe just hated seeing an old enemy rise. So they declared war again. This time, it was a siege. Carthage resisted fiercely, but after 3 brutal years in 146 BCE, Roman forces stormed the city. They burned it to the ground, enslaved 50,000 people, and, according to legend, salted the earth so nothing would grow again. Whether that last part is myth or not, the message was clear. Rome never forgets.
So what makes the Punic Wars so important even today?
The Punic Wars decided the balance of power in the Mediterranean. Rome became an empire. It expanded into Spain, North Africa, and Greece. Its military evolved. Its politics became more imperial. Also, it left lasting cultural legacies, words, roads, military ideas. And Hannibal, his tactics are still taught in military schools. The wars also serve as a lesson. Great rivalries don't just shape borders, they shape civilization itself.
What a journey! From war elephants crossing mountains to cities burning in the desert. This was one for the ages. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment and let us know what ancient war or story you'd like us to uncover next. Big thanks to ChatGPT, my brilliant co-host. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep asking.